Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Archbishop Mitty High School Virtual College Fair. We're going to wait just a couple minutes, let the rest of the students click all the right buttons to get into the room, and we'll get started here in just a minute or so. Okay, it looks like we have our groups. We're going to go ahead and get started. Good evening. Again, welcome to the Archbishop Mitty High School Virtual College Fair. We are so excited that you're here. We have a great group of speakers and colleges lined up for you tonight, so hopefully you'll learn a little bit more about some of these colleges that you're interested in. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. Your cameras and microphones are turned off, so don't worry, we can't see or hear you. Hopefully you can hear us okay and see us. If not, send a message in that Q&A box and we'll help troubleshoot that with you. And really, speaking of that Q&A button, that's the best way for you to engage with our presenters this evening. So if you have questions throughout the presentation, feel free to submit those in that Q&A button box on your screen at any time during the presentation. It doesn't just have to be to the college that's presenting. They are happy to answer questions all throughout the presentation, as well as when other colleges are presenting as well. They'll be typing responses back to you. So feel free to use that all throughout the evening. Don't forget, this is just one of many different sessions that are happening this evening and this week. So be sure to check the StriveScan website, sign up for any additional sessions that you might be interested in. And then within about a week, this session, and as well as all the other sessions that are being recorded, will be available on that website where you signed up. So be sure to take a look at that. Last but not least, if we're not able to get to all of your questions tonight, don't worry. Those questions will be shared with our college representatives, and they'll be happy to follow up with you individually after tonight's session as well. So our order for tonight, this is our schedule. We are the session A1 at the top left-hand corner. So this is the group you'll be hearing from, and so we are going to kick things off with the University of Tennessee.
Excellent. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us this evening. My name is Peter Sines with the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. Just going to run through a couple bits of information here. We, of course, are located in Knoxville, Tennessee, so we are a smaller city, a little bit more spread out. I would say we're much more in California terms of a Modesto than a San Fran, but we're still my favorite parts of Northern California in Tennessee. We are in the Smoky Mountain part of the Eastern Tennessee area. We are right on the water of the Tennessee River, and we are an urban city of about 180,000, so most definitely an urban campus. We're located in Eastern Tennessee, so I would say drive time from San Jose is about 35 hours. Built's character, hurts to say, hurts to hear, I'm sorry, but not too bad by flight. I would say out of San Fran, it's about a 7-hour flight going through Chicago O'Hare, and we are 3 hours ahead. So if you think about it, it's only about a 4-hour flight. Just kidding, but seriously. In terms of institutional numbers, we are about 23,000 undergraduate students, about 360 programs of study. So we're big in terms of headcount and opportunity, but still small in terms of feel. Our average class size is about a 17-to-1 student to faculty ratio. 89% of our students are on some type of scholarship and or financial aid, and 84% of our students are employed within 6 months of graduation. They get to work with our career services office throughout that entire 6 months and the 4 years beforehand. From an institutional dynamic, we're comprised of 9 undergraduate colleges and then 11 colleges total when you factor in our graduate colleges, College of Law and College of Veterinary Medicine. So we do have a little bit of everything, and we are direct entry for most of our programs. There's just a little bit of an extra review for places like the College of Nursing, because we do offer a direct entry nursing program, as well as the College of Architecture and Design. They love to see projects, portfolios, whatever the students have in terms of their background knowledge, specifically with their programs. Architecture, interior architecture, as well as graphic design. For the College of Engineering, there's just a little bit of a math requirements, but a lot of different ways that can be satisfied by their standards. So they want to make sure the students are a great fit for their programs like nuclear engineering and aerospace engineering, and likewise the programs are a great fit for them. But we do offer several different programs, supply chain management in our Haslam College of Business. We've got animal science in our College of Agriculture. So definitely something for everybody. Odds are a couple somethings for everybody. In terms of our application process, we are very user-friendly, very easy to apply to. We are 2 different applications online. We truthfully have no preference, so whatever works for you works for us. And then 2 different ways we can review your application and the back end. In terms of our process, we are score optional like a lot of other great institutions this year, so we're very excited about that. That does not make students any less competitive. It's just them telling us thanks, but no thanks. I'd rather not submit my test scores, totally okay. We can go ahead and take a closer look at the other application components in place of that, including our test optional essay. If students would like to go ahead and include their scores, they're more than welcome to do so. And I will say on our end, we can always update a student from a score optional to a score inclusive student as long as we haven't made a decision yet. This is just a screenshot of a common application and how we'll directly ask whether or not a student wants to include those test scores. And our essay prompt there, it's more leadership focused than why are you applying score optional in terms of the prompt there. From our basis, we'll calculate in terms of academic performance is what we call the core GPA. So it's foundational focus specifically. It is flexible. So we're very excited that we will always give the student the best possible consideration focusing on academics specifically with foundational courses in mind. So 4 years of English, 4 years of math, 3 years of science, 1 American history, 1 European history, world geography, 2 foreign language, and 1 visual performing arts is the basis there. These are by no way, shape, or form our admissions requirements. So these don't have to be seen. We understand that every high school is different, but in that case, if you might not have one, it's just a 15-way split with the other classes coming in with a little bit more oomph instead of having that extra class. For something like a foreign language, we'll always look at the highest 2 years of foreign language. So that kind of puts the student in the best possible consideration. Same goes for math, including middle school performance. If a student might have taken Algebra 1 in 8th grade or maybe an introductory level foreign language, we'll always look at the highest classes. I know on our end, we are about $43,540 for our cost of attendance. That includes tuition fees, room and board. I always mention to students, it doesn't include things, especially for out-of-state students like travel expenditures. Those can get a little bit on the pricier side. They can also include parking. Freshmen are allowed to have cars on campus, but that might be another expense to go ahead and factor in. So we always start with that big number and then talk about how to make it smaller at UT. So for our applicants in the admissions office, we have 3 scholarships available, 2 specifically for students that will apply with the inclusion of their test scores, and then 1 for students that will apply score optionally. It's an either or with those 2, so that doesn't mean that there's additional opportunities, but we just want to talk about those real quick while we have the time here. So the first is the volunteer scholarship, because we're the Tennessee Volunteers, go Vols, big orange country. What we have structured here is a basis for our scholarship. It is publicized, it is out in the open. So our hope is that students will see what we see in terms of competitive test scores with these 3 brackets based on the awarding amounts to help with that decision as to whether or not apply score optionally if they're thinking about UT at the end of the day. The prerequisites are those test scores. So this is one of the opportunities specifically for score exclusive candidates. And we do need to see at least a 3.8 core GPA for this eligibility to be considered. If we might be a little bit below the 3.8 core GPA, or maybe even a little bit higher, but not as high on the test scores, this is that other opportunity called the Tennessee Explorer Scholarship. So with this in mind, students can rest assured that they'll go ahead and be considered no matter what with a couple different criteria. It's an either or, not an and though. So students can be eligible for one or the other, not both, but they will continuously be reviewed for these all throughout the year with senior year grades coming in to review as well as their updated testing if they continue to test throughout their senior year. For score optional candidates, we have the Beacon Scholarship. So it keeps that door open so that they can be reviewed for scholarships through our office if they're thinking about UT. The awarding amounts are the same as well. So 4,000 to 18,000 are the brackets there. And then in terms of our timeline, we do have an early action deadline right around the corner on November 2nd, because I know November 1st is a Sunday this year. And we have a regular decision application deadline for December 15th. So if you're a senior that might be wanting a little bit more time to work on your application, maybe have your senior year grades from Archbishop Mitty come into play a little bit more with the application review, you're more than welcome to take that time. Our final deadline isn't until May 1st. And our application deadline for the FAFSA is February 1st to make sure we get everything included in terms of your financial aid package. Now, I myself am pinch hitting for our Northern California and Pacific Northwest recruiter. Her name is Ashley. So if you have any questions, please feel free to follow up with her. Is that time, facilitator?
Yeah, you're good. You're almost done, I can tell. I'm not going to cut you off.
But if you have any questions on my end, I'm based in the Northeast in the Boston area. So any restaurant recommendations, since Cheers is closed, feel free to go ahead and give me a shout. My name's Pete. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Pete. Okay, next up we have Elon University.
My video won't video. All right.
See. Let's try that. Did that make a difference?
That did. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry about that. So let's Hi, my name is Mandy Corcoran. I am, sorry, my screen is not working either. Technical issues, sorry about that. All right, my name is Mandy Corcoran. I am the Regional Assistant Director for Admissions for Elon University, and I am regionally based, so I'm based in Sunnyvale, California, so right around the corner from y'all. So let's talk about Elon University. So Elon University is located in Elon, North Carolina. We are a small college town that is just considered a suburb community of the city of Burlington, North Carolina. Burlington's about 5 minutes away or a 2-mile walk or bike on our green belt. We are very centrally located in the state. So we are 20 minutes from Greensboro. We are 45 minutes from the Raleigh-Durham area and about an hour and 45 minutes from Charlotte. We have very easy access to the mountains as well as the coast. You can really get around the state and really take advantage of everything that it has to offer. Our student population, we are just under 6,300 undergraduates with just over 7,000 total population. So that really makes us a Goldilocks school where we're large enough that you can get that anonymity and school spirit, but small enough that you're going to get that intimate hands-on learning environment. 80% of our students are coming from out of state. So this is really great in the sense that you are going to be having that shared experience with students coming over to the East Coast. So a lot of your fellow students are going to be feeling that same sense of transition that you are going through. With that, I want to talk about kind of inside our classroom and talk about what that Goldilocks experience has for you. So our students, we really look at a diverse population of students, whether that's a geographic diversity coming from out of state or being an international student. But we also look at other types of diversity on our campus, like our learning diversity or racial and ethnic diversity. So 19% of our students do identify as racially and ethnically diverse. With all of that diversity, we want to bring resources for students to really be able to feel supported and part of our community. So for that racial and ethnic diversity, we have our Center for Race, Ethnicity, and Diversity Education. For geographic diversity, we have our Global Center for Education that supports our international students and our study abroad students. And then for our learning diversity, we have our Cummings-Berger Learning Center to help support our students with accommodation, tutoring, academic success, and writing success. Within the classroom, we're going to get a very intimate environment. So you're going to get that one-on-one feel. We have an average class size of 20 and a 12-to-1 student-faculty ratio. But all of our classes are also capped at 33. So you're never going to have that large lecture course. And 100% of our classes are taught by professors. So you're going to have that opportunity for mentoring and really have the ability to engage within your classroom. We have 60+ majors that are spread across 4 different colleges: our College of Arts and Sciences, our School of Education, our School of Communication, and our School of Business. All of these programs or schools are direct entry, which means that when you're applying to Elon, you're applying into all of Elon. So you can change your major, double major. Even our engineering and business school require no additional application processes or test scores. The only exception to this would be our performing arts, because we are a conservatory style program, so we do require an additional audition. But other than that, you can change your major, pick different things, and really have that flexibility. We have our residential campus, so our students are living on campus and required to live on campus their first 2 years, but you also have the ability to live on campus all 4 years, and you can bring a car your first year. We have over 284 clubs and organizations, and we are a part of our Division I, part of the Colonial Athletic Association and Division I sports. This is where that larger side, that school spirit, that kind of big school feel that comes into play and that you'll have at Elon. For one of the things that we're really known about and that students ask a lot of questions about would be our study abroad program. We are #1 in the nation for private universities for study abroad. And this is because we have students going all over the world in 50+ countries. We have over 100+ countries that students can study abroad in. And we have 4 global centers across the globe, including New Zealand, London, Shanghai, as well as Florence, Italy. So we have students going through direct exchange through our centers. We also have a Study USA program. So if you've always wanted to live in New York City and try out New York City, you could go do that and do an internship. You just have a lot of flexibility. We also have a really significant January term where students are studying abroad during that time. And also all of our performing arts students and our athletes are all able to take advantage of the study abroad. And this is just one of our 5 experiential learning experiences. So that would be study abroad, internships, service learning, research, as well as leadership that students are required to engage in at least 2 of those. Let's talk about what's new at Elon and some of the things that you're really wanting to know about, like our testing optional. So our testing optional, we are truly testing optional. I don't need you to go to another town or anything to go and take a test. That test applies to our merit-based scholarships, our scholars and fellows programs, our accelerated pathways, pretty much anything that you could think of applies to for testing optional. If you want to submit an application or a test, this is just a piece of your application, but there's no advantage or disadvantage for submitting one. We also do require a separate scholarship application for our honors program. So these are our scholars and fellows, but our merit scholarships are considered right off of your application. Also, our accelerated programs require a separate application as well. So while we're talking about those accelerated programs, let's go ahead and introduce our new business 3+1 dual degree program. You can get your master's and your undergraduate in 4 years in business analytics or accounting. With engineering, we have a brand new engineering program. Previously, we only had a dual degree program. Now we have a business and engineering, or a Bachelor of Science in Engineering, where you can focus on biomedical or computing. And then brand new this year is a nursing program. It is pretty much direct entry. We may require a test, but we're still working on that additional piece. I would love to chat with you and connect with you more. So here's my contact information. I look forward to answering your questions tonight. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mitty. Okay. Next up, we are going to go to Swarthmore College.
Hi everyone, I'm Yokon from Swarthmore, and I will be sharing my screen with you in just a second. Here we go. I hope everyone can see okay. Awesome. Thank you all for joining. I hope everyone is safe and well in these crazy times. And I'm excited to be sharing a few things about Swarthmore with you tonight. My name is Yokun Jo. I'm the admissions counselor. I use she, her pronouns. I'm also the regional director for Northern California. I'm based in Swarthmore, and here's my email address. If you do have any more questions moving forward, please feel free to contact me. So a brief kind of big picture overview of who we are. I think Swarthmore is the only liberal arts school tonight here. So just shifting gears a little bit, we're on the much smaller end of colleges. We are a private college of liberal arts and sciences that also offers engineering. And we are located just outside the city of Philadelphia. There are about 1,600 students on our campus. We're a small college, and we offer over 40 programs of study. And what is really important about who we are and what we do is that that we do really care about social justice, access and equity issues, as well as inclusion and the affordability of higher education. So we'll get to that in a quick second. So here's geographically where we are. We're located just outside the city of Philly. This is actually a picture of the skyline of Philly from our campus. And we're sort of in between New York City and Washington, D.C., but very easy to get to other major East Coast cities from our campus as well. There's a train station right on Swarthmore's campus that gets you into the center city of Philadelphia within just 30 minutes. And lots of things that Philly offers, from great restaurants, sports events, performances, concerts, to opportunities to conduct research as well as internships. But at the same time, we're surrounded by a lot of natural beauty. So we're actually an arboretum campus, 425 acres that have woods, a creek that runs through it, multiple hiking trails, and of course, a gorgeous outdoor amphitheater, which is also where our students graduate from. And we have some friends in the area. So we share all of our classes, pretty much everything, with 2 other liberal arts colleges, Haverford and Bryn Mawr. And we also offer cross-registration with the University of Pennsylvania, which is in the city of Philadelphia. And like I mentioned, we're a liberal arts college of arts and sciences. So we fully embrace the beauty of liberal arts, and we encourage our students to really combine multiple interests, build their unique academic paths, and explore the world through the lenses of the humanities, of the natural sciences, of the social sciences, as well as engineering. So we're actually one of few liberal arts colleges that offer engineering as a major. And on top of that, there are many, many interdisciplinary programs to choose from, such as gender and sexuality studies, peace and conflict studies. Students have the option to design their own major, and we also offer dedicated pre-professional advising for pre-med and pre-law. And last but certainly not least, our honors program is unique in the US in that the final exams are not conducted by our Swarthmore professors, but rather top experts in the world on this very matter. And in terms of our academic environment, we intentionally made our first semester freshman year pass-fail, which means that there are no grades that first semester. And we also do not publish a GPA all 4 years. You can, of course, calculate yourself, but it's not public on your transcripts. And the idea is, first of all, having that first semester time for students to adjust to campus life, to being a college student at Swarthmore. And really, we're also pushing for this collaborative environment, right? We want students to kind of get away from grades and not think about what else they're taking these classes and why they're learning, right? So they get to focus on learning and work with each other, and you really never hear them ask each other, hey, what is your grade on that paper? Or, you know, what's your GPA? Because that is really not the focus of learning here. And like I mentioned, we're strong supporters of social justice, as well as access and equity work in higher education. And the students that we attract to our campus are also strong supporters of these issues, and they carry this deep sense of social concern. Many of them also receive funding from our Lane Center of Civic Engagement and Social Responsibility to conduct community-based partnerships, projects, as well as issues and internships that pursue or contribute to the common good. And as a very small residential community, our students do a lot, right? A lot of them focus on the performing arts. We are D3 schools, so many of them pursue athletics as well. But the idea is really that you can do multiple things here. You're not just an athlete or just a physicist or just a theater student, right? You can wear many hats, and that's the beauty of a small but engaged residential community like Swarthmore's. And to make sure that our students, who really come from many different backgrounds and walks of life, our students come from all 50 states in the country, as well as over 75 countries in the world, how do students find support when they're here? So first of all, we are a cash-free campus. Everything is free once you're here, including laundry, any events, right? Going to a party, right? Printing materials. There's no hidden cost once you get onto our campus. We also offer the emergency fund for students who need extra cash just to purchase a ticket to go home or get a winter jacket. There are dedicated programs in place to support first generation and or low income students, undocumented students, and documented students who are on campus, as well as international students. And we also offer lots of funding for students to pursue unpaid work, and when it comes to internships, research assistantships, and also mentorship programs for students who are underrepresented in academia. And students find community and find support students who share their interests and backgrounds, identities in many spaces on campus, including the Intercultural Center, which is the umbrella space for all identity-based groups, as well as Interfaith Center, International Student Center, of course, the Black Culture Center, and the Women's Resource Center. So where do our graduates go, right? They go get jobs, they go to grad school, they go get PhDs, and they continue to be leaders in the field and change the world. So we have an amazing track record of sending students to both graduate programs, PhD programs, and of course for employment as well. And last but certainly not least, I want to briefly mention our financial aid policy. So we are need blind in admissions, and we offer need-based financial aid award that meet 100% of families' need without any loans. And our average aid award from last year for domestic students was $56,000 a year. To apply for financial aid, you just need to submit the FAFSA as well as the College Board CSS profile. So I'll skip the last slide because I think it's my time, but I'll leave the information here for folks to reach out or connect with us further on our websites, as well as mailing list and social media. So thanks everyone, and please be in touch with questions.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, next up we are going to go to Trinity University. And don't forget to be submitting questions. Our reps are here and happy to answer questions, so submit those in the Q&A for any of the colleges that you're interested in, or just general Q&A as well. So Trinity, you are up.
Thank you. And says host has enabled my video, so if you can give me video privileges again.
Well, sure. How about that?
Thank you very much. And okay. Great, so welcome everybody. I'm going to start my timer so I stay on time. My name is Nicole Fratto. I'm the Senior Assistant Director of Admissions here at Trinity University in San Antonio, Texas. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I am the counselor that works specifically with students in Northern California. So tonight I am going to share a few distinctions. As you listened already to a couple of liberal arts schools, many of us start to sound really similar. And so this evening I would just like to highlight highlight a few of those differentiating factors for us here at Trinity. So the first one is going to be our size. 2,500 undergraduate students is on the larger side of liberal arts schools, and so we really attract students who are looking for that residential campus, that community feel, but want a slightly larger student body population. That also means that we attract faculty who are really committed to being in the classroom. We don't have any teaching assistants, so those faculty members who are teaching your courses are the same people grading your essays and your exams, hosting you for office hours, asking you to go for coffee, right? They're highly invested in the experience to engage with you, and that's definitely one of the appealing factors for our students. Second thing I want to highlight is the breadth and depth of our program. So here at Trinity, and actually similar to my peers on this call, we have really incredible programs that you usually see at larger institutions. So we have a fully accredited, nationally ranked engineering program. We have a School of Business and Computer Science, but we also have things like Global Latinx Studies and Russian and Political Science. And so our students are really able to delve in to those different options and explore through our Pathways curriculum. So once you're admitted into Trinity, you're admitted into all of our programs. You don't declare until the end of your sophomore year, and you really have that flexibility to explore through pathways and either discover your passions or sort of reinstate that interest in the area that you came in with. The third thing I want to highlight is our resources. We have one of the largest endowments per capita in the country, as you can see here, and that comes to play in several ways. So one, sort of back to that original slide about faculty members, we're able to hire incredible top-notch faculty and retain them because of this endowment. That also, again, is reflective in our student to faculty ratio, because even our smaller departments have full departments in terms of faculty makeup, which is really incredible. The second thing, which I know you can't see right now since you're not on our campus, but maybe you can see in my virtual background, is our facilities. So most of our campus is deemed a historic district. We have a really famous architecture, O'Neill Ford architect, excuse me. And so while we can't touch the facades of our buildings, the insides are continuously being updated. And that's everything from our athletic facilities to residence halls to our lab spaces to make sure that you're really getting the best resources possible. And the third thing is our ability to fund students to attend Trinity. So a lot of liberal arts schools either have incredible need-based aid for those who have family need, or great merit aid, but not both options. And here at Trinity, we really have incredible financial packages, both in merit-based scholarship and need-based scholarship as well. The other thing that I love and could talk about for a long time is the city that we're in. So San Antonio is the 7th largest city in the country, but it doesn't feel overwhelmingly large. It feels more small townish, and part of that is the Southern hospitality. Our campus itself is situated in a residential neighborhood, and we're just about 8 minutes north of the city center. So students really have access to the city. That also means that you can have an internship in the morning, right? Then come back to campus for a 12:30 class and go to your soccer practice in the afternoon. It's really accessible, and the city of San Antonio is really vibrant, certainly influenced by the Mexican American culture here, and you see that in our food and our art and our music. The last thing I want to highlight is our student body. So we are an incredibly diverse campus in terms of liberal arts schools, and I use that word very broadly, right? You can see racially, socioeconomically, these numbers are a little dated. This year's first year class is 44% from historically underrepresented groups in academia, and 20% Pell eligible. So you really see that broad range of students coming in, and the incredible support systems that we have on our campus to really support students of all different backgrounds. So now that you know a little bit about Trinity, hopefully you have some interest in possibly applying, and so I want to go over those options really quickly. We are a Common App school and a coalition school like some of my peers here, which really enforces that access piece that we are committed to. We have 2 deadlines, November 1st and February 1st, both with a binding and a non-binding option. And then similar to my peers, we are test optional this year and for at least the next 3 years. And so you have that option to submit your test scores if you were even able to take them or not, right? And that's something that is up to you, and you have the ability to change yourself in your application portal. And then lastly, when you apply to Trinity, you're automatically considered for all of our merit scholarships without test scores as well. All of those options, including full tuition, are included. So I look forward to connecting you. Feel free to ask questions in the Q&A feature there, or feel free to email me. And best of luck this year.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nicole. Okay, and next up we are going to go to Oregon State University.
All right, hello everybody. My name is Kelly Pieski and I am the Assistant Director of Non-Resident Recruitment. I'm going to apologize. I can't share my video right now. My computer's been crashing when I share my video. So I'm not going to share my video throughout this presentation. So I do apologize for that, but I'm going to go ahead and get started on my presentation. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of a difficulty. Okay, so welcome to Beaver Nation virtually. We are located in the town of Corvallis, Oregon. If you can see on the map in front of you, it's indicated by the larger of the 3 orange dots. We're about 90 miles south of Portland. That is our main campus, but we also have 2 other campuses. We have a campus in Bend, Oregon. That is a degree granting campus. It's called OSU Cascades. It's much smaller. It's about 1,500 students and about 20 different majors are offered there. And then we also have a campus in Newport on the coast, and that is a facility that is for programs and studies within the marine sciences. It's a very hands-on facility. There's 3 research vessels that go out into the ocean every day. There is wet and dry labs on campus, so very hands-on for students who are interested in academic studies of that nature. But our main campus in Corvallis, and that's really what I'm going to be talking about for today. It's in a great central location in the state of Oregon. Like I said, we're about 90 miles south of Portland. Then we're about an hour away each from the coast and the Cascade Mountain Range. So there's just a ton of activities to participate in and around Corvallis, just everything that the beautiful Pacific Northwest has to offer. Corvallis itself is a quintessential college town. It's consistently ranked as being one of the top college towns in the nation, as well as the top college town on the West Coast. So if you're interested in looking for that college town experience, you really can't find a better place than Corvallis. It's a small town. There's about 55,000 year-round residents living there. And then student population on Oregon State is about 24,000. There's a ton of activities happening for students. There's over 400 student clubs and organizations, a little under 50 different Greek life affiliations, 7 different cultural resource centers across campus, and 16 different Division I sports. We play in the Pac-12 conference. Because we're in the small little college town, being part of the Pac-12 conference just has this type of energy in the air that's pretty indescribable. Everybody on game days are decked out in their orange and black. It's just a super fun environment to be in, especially for those 4 years that you're in college. Now, in terms of academics, we offer over 200 academic programs. We have several different majors throughout pretty much any academic interest that you can think of, and maybe some you've never even thought of before. We're very well known for programs in the STEM fields, most notably agricultural sciences, engineering, earth and ocean sciences, health sciences, but we're not just a STEM school. We have programs throughout all different academic interests. We have a great program in College of Business. We have programs pretty much in, like I said, anywhere that you can think of. We also have programs in studies and exploratory studies. So if you are not quite sure what you want to major in, you can always come in undecided. And none of our programs are impacted. So you can get in and you can get the classes you need in order to graduate within 4 years. We're also a top research institution. We're one of only 2 institutions in the entire nation to hold all 4 federally funded grants. We're a land, sun, sea, and space grant institution. So what that means and why that's important to you as an undergraduate student is that there's funding coming in from all avenues to help support research in all academic interests. Research is not just about lab coats and goggles. We have research projects going on from everything from arts and sciences and everything in between. For both our admissions and our scholarship consideration, we employ a holistic review of your application. So we will be looking at the entirety of your application, your strength of curriculum, your writing pieces that you submit. We are test optional, so you are not going to need to submit those test scores if you have not taken them or don't plan on taking them. You don't need to worry about that. Our early action deadline is November 1st, and our regular deadline is February 1st. We're also part of WUI, so if you do receive the WUI, you'll be getting, your tuition will be 150% of in-state tuition. However, WUI is not guaranteed. It's the top award for our non-resident students. But if you don't receive WUI, then there's additional admission-based scholarships that you may receive as well. Okay, that is closing in on my time. So that is my information that I have. And if you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to me.
Awesome, thanks so much. Okay, let me try to get this to share. Okay, last but not least, we have Northern Arizona University. It looks like Susan's ready to go.
Yes. Great. Hi, everyone. My name's Susan Maxwell, and I'm with Northern Arizona University. So first, I want to talk about our location. So we're located in Flagstaff, which is in the northern part of the state. In this picture, you can see the San Francisco mountain peaks in the background. So we are in a mountainous region. Flagstaff is actually at 7,000 feet elevation, which is higher than Lake Tahoe. And we're in a great college town, so you can walk to shops and restaurants. And there's lots to do in our area. We're also a great place for stargazing, since we are so high in the sky at that 7,000 feet elevation. Plus, our area is great for the outdoors. Really, anything you can think of to do outside, you can do in Flagstaff. So there is the urban trail system in town, lots of city parks, and we're about 90 minutes from the Grand Canyon and 2 hours north of Phoenix. NAU was founded in 1899, so we do have a long history. There's about 20,000 undergrads and 30,000 students when you count our online, graduate, and statewide campuses. And about 60% of our students are from Arizona, and the other 40% are out of state or international students. Living on campus is not required, but about 90% of our first-year students choose to do so. We have lots of traditions at NAU. One of them is called the Running of the Freshmen, where students run across our home football game at the first game of the season. And we also have fun things like a homecoming carnival. Lots of ways to engage and connect with other students. We have over 400 clubs and organizations. You can see some of our students unicycling there. So anything you can think of, and too many things to list. We also have a Greek system, sports, intramurals, and ways to get involved as a leader in our student government. Plus, we bring entertainment to campus, like movie nights, concerts, comedians. We've had people like Adam Sandler, Daniel Tosh, Jason Mraz, and more. We have an excellent Olympic-sized swimming pool, so you can see a fitness class that's going on there. There's also 12 tennis courts, a dive tank, plus an indoor rec center, along with counseling services, disability resources, and a fairly comprehensive medical office on campus. We are the Lumberjacks, so we have 15 Division I sports. Our men's cross-country team, all I can say about them is they're fast. They've been national champs for several years in a row, and our women's swimming and diving team has also had their share of success. So when it comes to academic, we have close to 100 undergraduate degree programs. And let me read off a few of our popular programs, because there's too many to list. Astronomy, biology, engineering, forestry, nursing, hotel and restaurant management, environmental science, and psychology are just a few of those 100 programs. Plus, there's lots of research opportunities. One of our professors recently got a grant from NASA to study the main asteroid belt and learn more about asteroids. We also have an honors college that has about 1,500 students. So it's a smaller cohort within the larger undergraduate population. So you would need to apply for admission, be admitted, and then you can apply to the Honors College. So offering smaller, more personalized classes. Plus they have a new residential community. Our graduate college offers numerous accelerated programs. So this is where you could get a bachelor's or master's in as few as 5 years. So from athletic training to education, geography, etc., you can see there's lots to choose from. And you don't have to decide this right away, but I would seriously start thinking about it as a sophomore in college. We have an excellent study abroad program, over 70 countries to choose from, and you can do a semester, a full year, or a summer. And I do want to talk about our admission requirements briefly. It's pretty straightforward. We don't require an essay or letters of rec. We're really making the decision based on these 16 core classes. And it is okay if you're missing a class or two. You just can't be missing a math and a science class or 2 classes from the same area. We are test optional. We're always looking at an unweighted GPA, and I'm happy to share our fee waiver code with you. So for fall 2021, it's hashtag NAU21, and that'll save you the $25 application fee. Also, all of our students from California automatically qualify for the WUI rate, so that's good for all programs, and that's a little under $16,000 per year, much lower than our non-resident rate of $25,000. And you can see some additional costs on the screen there. Just another screenshot about WUI. If you're coming from a gold state, you will get one of the WUI rates. And also we have scholarships for WUI students, either $5,000 or $6,000 per year, and you'll be considered for these when you apply for admission. Also encourage everyone to fill out the FAFSA, and we do have additional scholarships that students can apply for. Also coming up, we have a few Discover NAU events. One is this Saturday, and then 2 more coming up, so you can learn more about life as a lumberjack. So thank you so much for taking time to be with us this evening, and go Lumberjacks.
Great, thanks so much, Susan. Okay, well, to all of our students who joined us tonight, we just wanted to say thank you for doing so. We hope you learned a little bit more about the colleges that you're interested in. I'm going to leave the session up for a couple minutes. I know we have a couple of questions out there that our reps are working on responding to, so they'll get you those responses. And any other questions, feel free to submit them now, and they'll be happy to follow up with you after the session as well. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. If you don't mind taking a couple seconds just to complete that for us, we'd appreciate any feedback that you have. And also don't forget, this is just one of many sessions being offered. So be sure to go back to that StriveScan website, sign up for other sessions that you might be interested in learning more about. And all of the recordings will be available on the StriveScan website as well in about a week. I know a couple of students were asking about if slides would be available. StriveScan won't automatically send out the slides, but I know our reps would be happy to send those to you as well. So feel free to shoot them an email or drop a message in the Q&A real quick that you would like those slides, and they will be happy to follow up with you as well. So again, thank you for joining us. Have a great evening, and we'll see you in the next session.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thanks for your time, folks.